Good day everyone. I am Nikki Laurito from Bsed-E 1A. So for today's lesson, we are going to discuss about the 20 most common grammatical errors in English. To start with, let's talk about a common mistake not only for students learning English but also for native speakers is the difference between there, and there in written English. For examples, they're going to the park. Their cake is delicious. Her bag is over there. In correction, they're going to the park. Their cake is delicious. Her bag is over there. For us to know that there is a construction of they are, there is usually before an adjective or verb ending ing. On the other hand, there is a possessive adjective which is used before a noun. It shows possession that something belongs to them. Now, let's talk about there. There is the opposite of here. It means in that place, not here. Next in line is the common mistakes in using to, and to. So for examples, I am going to the store. I have two brothers. She was too tired to go out. When it's supposed to be, I am going to the store. I have two brothers. She was too tired to go out. For us to know that to is used as a preposition, indicating direction or movement towards a particular location or goal. While on the other hand, to is used in an adverb, indicating something is in addition to what has already been mentioned or is successive. Next is the word two, a number representing the quantity of 2 units. So now, let's talk about the common mistakes in using the words lag and lug. For examples, the lag made the video quality poor. My sister was stumbled over a long lag and fell on the ground. When it's supposed to be, the log made the video quality poor. My sister was stumbled over a log and fell on the ground. In difference, the word log is a piece of a thick branch or a trunk of the tree that has been cut, while the word lag refers to a delay or slower speed in performance or progress. So now, let's move on to the common mistakes in using the words poor, and poor. For examples, Nika pours a coffee to a guest. 2. Anya was very disappointed about her pours. 3. My exam results were very poor. When it's supposed to be, Nika pours a coffee to a guest. Anya was very disappointed about her pours. My exam results were very poor. Poor and poor are 3 different words in the English language that sound similar to each other. They are homophones, which means that they sound alike but have different meanings. Pour is also a verb that means to cause liquid to flow from one container to another by gravity of agitation. While pour is a verb that means to examine or scrutinize closely. Pore is also a noun that means a small opening in the skin that allows oil and sweat to reach the surface. Well, the word poor has several meanings depending on its use in a sentence. Poor is an adjective that describes someone who has little money and few possessions of value. Next, it is a noun. It means someone who is in poverty or someone who excites piety. So now, let's discuss the common mistakes in using farther and further. For examples, he ran further than he did in the race. 2. We need a further investigation to this issue. When it's supposed to be, he ran farther than he did in the race. 2. We need a further investigation to this issue. As we all know that farther and further are both comparative adjectives that refer to distance or degree. However, there is a slight difference in their usage. Farther refers to physical distance. It is used when discussing an actual distance that can be measured. Further refers to a figurative or metaphorical distance. It is used to describe a degree or extent of something that cannot be physically measured. And now, let's move on the common mistakes in using complement and complement. Just like for examples, Lexa complimented her dress. 2. Your red shoes complemented your black dress perfectly. When it's supposed to be, Lexa complimented her dress. Your red shoes complemented your black dress perfectly. So, complement with an E refers to something that completes something else, while complement with an I has branched off to mean a remark, especially in the form of admiration, esteem, or approval. Moving on, let's now discuss the common mistakes in using dessert and dessert. For examples, 1. The Sahara is the largest dessert in the world. 2. My little sister really loves to eat any dessert. When it's supposed to be 1. The Sahara is the largest dessert in the world. 2. My little sister really loves to eat any dessert. Dessert and dessert are two unrelated words that are spelled similarly. They can be pronounced differently or the same depending on the meaning. Dessert with a double S is a noun referring to the sweet final course of a meal, while dessert with only one S is used to refer to a land filled with sand. Then it's used as a noun, but when it's used to refer to abandonment, it's used as a verb. Now, let's move on to the last common mistakes using I'll, and I'll. For examples, I walk down the aisle of the church. 2. I'll never leave you. 3. The aisle of the man. When it's supposed to be, I walk down the aisle of the church. 2. I'll never leave you. 3. The aisle of a man. Aisle is a noun that refers to a passage between rows of seats, shelves, or other objects, while I'll is a contraction of the words I will and is used to express a future tense. And lastly, the word isle is a noun that refers to a small island or a peninsula usually surrounded by water. So that's the end of our discussion. I hope you enjoy and learn something. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.